Okay, welcome to my terribly messy art area where I'm working with alcohol inks. I'm just going to quickly show you some key things here. I got this little foam piece at Hobby Lobby, and I made these holders for the ornaments using foam brushes. So here's the foam brush that I used, and you'll see right here, I don't know if you can see it, let me get up close. There's a little black plastic thing, and you have to kind of pull that off with some force, and then you basically end up with a stick. And I took the stick and I wrapped it. Some of the ornaments are small enough that they fit on, just plain like this, but if they were a little bit loose, I wrapped them with plain masking tape. And then the next thing I did to hold them on is I just put the masking tape around the ornament as it sat on the stick. And one of the things I found a trick is to fold down the end of the flap so that you can pull it off, find it and pull it off quicker when you're ready to take it off. The other thing I have is a little palette for holding just a little bit of alcohol ink. And I happen to have these little tiny bottles from, I do silk scarf painting, and they have little small tips. And so I was using that for my gold paint. I noticed that they had a stamping tool for stamping ink. I ended up not using it, but I used a pill bottle, and then I put a piece of Velcro. I stuck the loop piece on the back, and then I just cut out some white felt squares that I have used. So if you're using that kind of a situation, this might help. Then the other thing I'm using is 99% alcohol. I bought this on eBay, and I went to the drugstore and I got 70% alcohol, a big bottle of it. And what I do is I use these little tiny containers. Again, I think I bought these. I got these, I think, at Michael's or someplace. They're low Corel. Oops, they just fell out of the package. But they come 12 to a set, and they look like this. And I've been using those pretty heavily for these projects. So what I do is I put 2 of them filled with the 70% alcohol, and 2 of them I fill with a 99%. So I kind of rinse my brushes in the cheaper alcohol, and then I use these 2 to help thin and paint with the paints. Another thing I found that somebody was using, and I'm sort of the jury's still out, is this Gilding Flakes that I'm using. And let me kind of show you the difference between how that looks. So this, again, let me get where you can see. So this is a red ball that I've kind of got both things going on. So you might see that at the top of the ball, let me put it down. I can't do it. Well, here, I'll show you on this one. At the top of the ball, we have some, see where that's running right there, kind of in the middle of the screen? That's actually ink. But then as we go down further, right there in the middle is a gilding flake. And here's another one. So I don't know whether I like the gilding flakes or if I just like it plain without the gilding flakes. I think on this one, I didn't use, here's another one that I'm doing in the same set. I don't think I use many gilding flakes, if at all, on this one. The way it works is I wait till I do the ink, and then when it's starting to get dry and it's just like wet in certain places, I lay these gilding flakes on top. And let me show you what they look like. This thing I've been using, and it's still totally full. They're just chunks of like gold leaf kind of stuff. And then I haven't done this part yet, but you need to use Kamar varnish, I heard, to finish it off. And I've got a spray bottle of that to spray some thin coats to protect it. These are the glass ornaments I used. I bought them at Hobby Lobby, and they're white glass. First thing I'm going to do is take some brass piñata, and I'm going to shake it up really good. And then I'm going to put it in my little holder here. And I'm going to try to paint with this just straight. I'm going to get my brush just a little wet. And I'm going to take it, and I like to have the gold, a little bit of gold right on the top. So I'm going to paint just a little line of gold. Try to use the tip of my brush. There we go. Make sure I have gold. Sometimes it separates. I don't know if you can see where it's like here, it's separating kind of bad, so I want to make sure it's kind of a more thick layer of gold. So I'm throwing in some more gold. I'm going to take my brush, rinse it in the cheap alcohol, and then the better alcohol. I'm going to set this aside for a minute and let it dry for just a few minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to get some paper towels because I just realized oops, sorry about that. I just realized I don't have paper towels down, and I'm going to need them for brushing off my brush. All right, the two colors I'm using for this little demo is a piñata rainforest green, and you want to make sure your inks are open, and a piñata Baja blue. And then I'm keeping this closed, but I will be also using this brass again. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my Baja blue and, can you see? Yeah, fill in a little spot here. And I'm going to take a thick brush. I use really cheap brushes because this alcohol ink is going to ruin the brushes. And now this is relatively dry, so I'm going to take and really thin out this blue and go right next to the line. The good news about this gold is it acts as a little bit of a barrier. So I can be a little bit crazy. Now I'm going to run that around just a little bit to cover. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this this green, rainforest green, put that in the other well, and I'm going to try to do some coverage of the green down here. And I'm going to also keep this one a little bit of a circle as we go around. I don't know if that's very good. There we go. And then I want to just get coverage quickly. And now I do want to get a little mixing, so I'm going to put a little bit of green in with this blue, and I'm going to put a little bit of blue in with this green. And in a minute we will be going crazy. Now I'm going to shake up my gold, or brass it's called. Quick undo it, and while this is still wet, we put some gold. Now what happens, you'll see that's really ugly. So now we want to take and put some straight, I'm going to use the green, I guess. That's what I just happen to have. And then here I think I'll use the blue. And this, I don't like what's going on here, so I'm going to throw some blue. And I'm going to, let's see, I kind of wanted this a little more of a green ornament. So I'm going to do a little bit more green here. Okay. Now you see how that's not blending? One of the things I forgot to mention is I have a blending brush with blending fluid in it. And I'm going to use that to help blend some of this color here. And see how it's kind of running? It's making a huge mess. I'm also going to drop just a few drops in there to get that blended. I kind of think I maybe blend this just a little bit. I kind of like what's going on. I'm not sure if I like all that. Let's see. Let's just do one little drop to get it a little bit closer. Okay. Now I just kind of let it hang out. Let's see. This looks like it's, the blending solution will pick up that gold paint also. Oops, okay, so this went down. I'm gonna clean off my blending brush and I'm gonna take it and get rid of that green because I'm trying to preserve a little bit of white in the middle there. Oops, and I'm gonna take my paper towel and run it around. There. I kind of like what's going on. Just I gotta let it hang out for a minute. Now just to show you, again, I'm not sure if I like this, but I'm gonna show you what I do. At this point, you see it's still wet, and that's kind of ugly. I don't know what's going on there. I feel like I need to get rid of that little bop. See if I can get rid of it. Well, not getting rid of it. Okay. I'm going to take some of these blending flakes, and I'm just going to put a few of them on. And I don't want it to be too solid, so I just kind of touch it down in a few places. And later on, I will brush it off, and that will only be stuck in certain places. I'm trying to find ugly spots here. Maybe right here. This probably could use a little something. I'll hold that. I'll put a few spots. Let that go over to that blue. Kind of touch it down there. That's really ugly, so I'm gonna put a little spot on that, whatever's going on right there. And voila, that is my ornament. One last thing I would do is I would take this blending brush at the end. I'm gonna just show you how this works. And I would just clean up these edges just a little bit to make them a little more even, because I don't want it to be too raggedy. So take that and then take a little bit of a paper towel and rub. Try to get, and I would do that. I'm going to wait till this thing dries and do it when I can hold it a little bit more, because this can be done later on. Also, I'm just going to get that one more time right there. I kind of like to do this before it dries too permanently, because sometimes they stain. So I'm just going to do a little bit more right here to get rid of some of that. There we go. Now I've got a nice white bottom and a nice pretty white top, and I'm going to put it over in my area to dry. Meanwhile, I just want to show you the blending solution that I've been using in this little brush. That I keep cleaning it off so that when I use it again, it doesn't have green on it. But this brush and this blending solution came from Amazon. It actually came with a pack of different blending brushes. I've only used 2 of them. I've used that one, and then there's a real fine one that I kind of also like for cleaning up really nichey areas. So that is pretty much it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and try to finish up this project. And I've got a really soft brush here, and I've just brushed that gold off that I had stuck on gently. I want to show you how it finally works. And it's pretty much off. I kind of go crazy like this. And that's this ornament. I'm not sure I like the blue in here. I might go back and fix that up. But at least you got the idea of the process I used. Okay guys, I thought I would show you how the final ornament turned out. See if I can get it in the light a little better. So I got rid of the blue, and you can see right here, you can sort of see my brush marks And when I went back in, you know, sometimes it dripped. Let me see if I can find, kind of dripped around, and so there's a kind of a big drip going on right there. So sometimes going back in makes it worse. The other thing I wanted to show you is I kind of cleaned up the top, so it's not too bad. So anyway, that is my green ornament. And here are some other ornaments that I have made recently. As you clean up, one thing to note, you can use hand sanitizer to clean both your hands and the work surface that you're working with. It works great. Thank you very much.